After being rescued by Rin and Yukio from the tree goblin, Shiemi started going to a mage class and meeting many friends. Shiemi tries to befriend her two classmates, Kamiki and Paku. However, Kamiki is not very friendly. Seeing Shiemi's desire to be friends, Kamiki reluctantly agreed, but actually only used Shiemi as a servant. Summer comes, Yukio decides to send the whole class to the two brothers' dormitory for summer school. After class, Kamiki asked Paku to take a bath. While changing her clothes, Paku told Kamiki that she didn't like it, and that she would also be leaving this mage class soon. Kamiki was quite surprised to hear that. It turned out that Kamiki had been ostracized by his classmates before. Only Paku would play with her. So Paku's participation in the mage class was to make Kamiki less lonely, and while talking, a two-headed monster suddenly appeared on the ceiling. At this time, Rin and Shiemi were in the hallway when they heard the screams of the two girls, so they both immediately ran to help. Paku was not careful when the small monster's venom fell on him, so he fainted. Kamiki summoned his two white fox spirits, but in a moment of mental instability, the two fox spirits stopped listening to Kamiki and turned to attack her. Luckily, Rin arrived in time and told Kamiki to tear off the contract, forcing the two fox spirits to leave the human world. Shiemi ran to see Paku fainting due to poisoning from the monster. She summoned the blue spirit and asked it to create a herbal plant to save Paku. The two-headed monster was quite strong, so Rin was only planning to hold it back to wait for Yukio to arrive. Rin didn't want to draw the sword because he would reveal his identity to Kamiki. At this moment, Yukio promptly ran over and fired at the monster, causing it to run away. Paku-mei asked Shiemi to apply the medicine so there was no danger, and Kamiki hid in a corner and sobbed, thinking that she was useless for not being able to protect her best friend. After that, Kamiki often lost focus in class, so her grades went down significantly, while Suguro was often praised by her teacher, so she was very upset. Kamiki taunted Suguro and the others, causing him to jump up and start arguing with her. Neither of them would give in to Ai, making the whole class a mess. Teacher Yukio caught this scene and angrily forced the whole class to pay the penalty. Yukio gave the class a lesson on teamwork, while Kamiki and Suguro kept blaming each other. Yukio has a mission to do within 3 hours, so he announces that he will lock all the doors of the dormitory while the whole class is punished. He asks the class to find a way to reconcile themselves while he leaves here. Yukio had just left when the lights of the whole dormitory were turned off, and the two-headed monster that attacked Paku yesterday appeared again. Shiemi immediately summoned the green spirit to attack the monster and created a wall of trees separating them from the monster. Being attacked, the monster was nothing but madly destroying Shiemi's wall of trees. The monster released its poison in the air, making it hard for the group to breathe. Only Rin was a demon, so he didn't feel anything. Rin tries to call Yukio to come back and save the group, but the younger brother doesn't pick up. With no other choice, Rin decided to climb over the wall and lure the monster away. Seeing Rin, the two-headed monster immediately splits its body in two, one chasing Rin and the other remaining to continue to destroy Shiemi's wall. Seeing that Shiemi's wall couldn't last long, Suguro decided to recite a purification spell. Rin, after exiting the room and being chased by a monster, he was about to go back to defeat the monster but suddenly thought that if he turned on the light, the monster would weaken. Rin ran to the storage room to turn on the electric switch when the monster caught up and prevented him from turning on the light. At this time a blindfolded person came over. It turned out to be the summoning teacher Newhouse. He seemed to be the one behind the whole incident of the dormitory being attacked by monsters. He wanted Rin to unleash all of the demon's power in her, so he let the monster attack the dormitory. Rin saw that someone was behind this and angrily drew her sword and slashed the monster to death. But when he looked up, the teacher had disappeared without a trace. As for the group of classmates, Shiemi tried her best but in the end could not maintain the wall of trees. Kamiki desperately tried to summon the fox god. But this time her spirit was stronger, so the two gods were accused of obeying Kamiki's orders. She ordered them to attack the monster. But it was also unsuccessful. The monster grabbed Suguro's head and was about to tear him apart when the lights in the room came on. The monster was distracted. At the same time Suguro finished chanting the spell, in time to purify the entire monster. After this event, Kamiki was very grateful to Shiemi and no longer had a cold attitude towards Shiemi. After a while, Yukio returned, followed by the teacher Newhouse. Rin saw that and was about to warn Yukio about what just happened. Before he could speak, he suddenly took a kick from behind. Looking back, it turned out to be the headmaster Phelas. He said that the entire monster attack event was a test of ability, and the room was surrounded by teachers supervised. The whole class was taken to the infirmary for treatment after the test. Everyone was very grateful to Shiemi for the recent event and was confident that she would pass the test. In addition, the class was also very curious about how Rin defeated the monster. Kamiki thought that it was impossible for a student to defeat a mid-tier monster with an ordinary sword, so she felt that there was still a lot of mystery surrounding Rin. After the test, Yukio met with teacher Newhouse to question his actions yesterday. Yukio thinks that Newhouse has gone beyond the limits of the test. It seems he purposely wanted Rin to unleash his demonic powers in front of everyone. Yukio believes that only a few teachers know about Rin's identity, and Mr. Newhouse must have been instructed to do so by Principal Phelas. Newhouse insists that everything he does is directed by Phelas, and that he is tasked with forcing Rin to unleash her power to the maximum. That night, Newhouse suddenly appeared in Rin's bedroom. He tried to kill Rin but suddenly realized that under the blanket was only a pillow. It turned out that Yukio felt uneasy, so he moved his brother Rin to another room. And just like his hunch, Mr. Newhouse was actually plotting to harm his brother. Yukio faced Newhouse and the two fought up to the roof of the dormitory. On the rooftop, Newhouse summoned a giant hell monster that Yukio couldn't resist. His bullets hit the monster just like a mosquito bite. While being mysterious, suddenly Rin's brother appeared with a blue flame. Rin was about to attack Newhouse when he threw a vial of holy water in the face, causing his power to be suppressed. The monster took the opportunity to grab Rin and try to tear him apart. But Yukio took advantage of Newhouse's opening to erase a corner of the summoning circle. Rin also took the opportunity to control Newhouse and question him. Newhouse said he was a lucky escape from the Blue Night incident 16 years ago. That night Satan took over Newhouse's body and killed many of his relatives. Hearing that, Rin closes his sword and says he can fight him if he wants, but please don't drag innocent people into battle. Newhouse left and said that besides him there were many satanic haters who wanted to hunt Rin. The next day, Principal Phelas announced that the class had passed the test and was promoted. To celebrate this, he treated Rin's entire class with a cake. One day, while studying in the hot new year, the Okumura brothers received a call from magicians for help. The two arrived at the scene and saw a two-tailed cat demon rioting. The magicians had used all means but could not control it. Rin was told by Yukio priest Shiro once had a summoned beast, a black cat named Kuro, which was originally the spirit of a cat shrine. But over time, people gradually forgot about their guardian spirit, and eventually they destroyed the temple of the cat god. Stripped of his home, negative emotions welled up inside the cat god and it gradually turned into a demon. This demon is so powerful that no one can control it, so they have to ask the highest level magician, Priest Shiro, to deal with the cat Kuro. Instead of destroying the cat, Priest Shiro tamed it and set it as the school gatekeeper's summoned beast. The magicians couldn't figure out why the cat was so angry that it attacked everyone, so Yukio brought out the item that the Priest Shiro had given him before he died. He said that if he had any destiny, this object could suppress Kuro. Yukio thinks this is a destructive weapon that can kill cats, so he asks everyone to stay away before he uses it. Suddenly Rin heard a voice from Kuro's side. He listened and knew it was the cat's thoughts. It seems the demon's power gives him the ability to telepathize with other demons. Rin learns that the cat is so heartbroken that the priest Shiro is dead. It gets mad. Rin suddenly stops Yukio and tells him to stop using destructive weapons, but let Rin try to convince him. Rin walked over and explained to Kuro that Priest Shiro had indeed passed away. He sensed Kuro's sadness and loneliness, so he empathized with the cat. Seeing that Rin was the same as Priest Shiro from before, Kuro accepted the departure of Priest Shiro. Kuro reverted to being a harmless kitten, so the Mage Council agreed to make it Rin's summoned beast and not destroy it anymore. The cat smelled a familiar smell from the item in Yukio's hand, opened it and it turned out to be cat mint, Kuro's favorite food, not a weapon of destruction. It was then that Yukio realized that the real Priest Shiro would never harm Kuro. The brothers decide to adopt the cat and Rin takes it with her as a summoned beast. A few days later, Rin was grouped with Kamiki and Shima, the three of whom would accompany the cleft chin teacher to the beach for summer training. Kamiki was daydreaming at sea when he suddenly had a cramp. A boy nearby saw it and ran to save her. Suddenly the water of the beach turned black. A monk told Rin's group that there was a giant squid on this beach. A man in the village went out to sea to destroy the sea monster but has not returned since. The group returns home to find the boy who saved Kamiki just now. The boy asked them to take him to the grocery store. It turns out this kid is a blind kid. The group now learns that the boy's name is Yohei and is the son of a man who volunteered to go to sea to punch monsters. The next day, the sea surface turned black again. Afraid that Yohei boy would follow his father to the sea to fight the sea monster, so Kamiki sat watching him until the afternoon. Suddenly a giant squid appeared. Rin and the others tried their best to attack the squid but it still didn't work. Even the cat god Kuro couldn't do anything about the monster. Rin was about to pull out her katana to cut the monster when Yohei's father returned. He said the monster was completely harmless. It was also blind like his father and son, so he often got lost on the shore. After the mission at the beach, this time Rin's class is assigned to the Mephi Park again. There are currently reports that a ghost is causing trouble in the park. Rin is assigned to go with Shiemi to investigate the happenings. When going to the merry-go-round, Rin suddenly heard a cry, and the trampoline suddenly started by itself. Rin and Shiemi encounter a small crying ghost. It turns out it's a cunning ghost that's been wreaking havoc in the park. Shiemi immediately chased after the ghost and Rin called the management team. While calling, Rin was robbed by someone, who introduced himself as the Demon King Amaimon, the younger brother of the headmaster Phalas. He opened Rin's sword and released the power within, forcing Rin to transform into a demon. The two jump into a heated fight while Shiemi tries to chase the little ghost. After chasing for a while, the ghost thanked Shiemi for making it fun and disappeared. Meanwhile, Rin was being punched by the Amaimon even though he was in a satanic state. Despite Rin punching and kicking or doing anything, he was still awake as if nothing happened. After a long, boring fight, he stepped on Rin and was about to break the katana that sealed the power when a strange young man appeared. He is a student in the class named Yamada. His behavior is very mysterious and never interacts with anyone. This person took out a sword to fight Amaimon when he suddenly threw the sword back and left. When Yukio came running, Mr. Yamada was revealed to be a girl. She introduced herself as a first-class high mage. She was sent by the Holy See to investigate dangerous elements. This part ends here. Please subscribe to the channel and the notification bell button to wait for the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.